Don't double dip dead dialects. While it may sound like a tongue twister, trust me, it's life advice. You'll be spending more time studying every night than it took me to say that first sentence right. In 8th grade, I started taking Latin at my school. We'll call my teacher Mr. Julius, because that dude is so old, most of the class was, and still is, convinced that he is Caesar himself. Caesar didn't die, it was just a ruse that he could follow his true dream, teaching Latin a few hundred years later. Though he was a bit old fashioned in the way he taught, he was a great teacher. Every class he would quiz us on the previous day's material, check for homework, go over the homework, and teach us the next lesson. He would always be spouting knowledge of Latin and other languages if it was even remotely related to what we were doing. And he is also, I'm fairly sure, immortal. My reasoning is thus. The day of the second quarter exam, he didn't show up. For the next 2 weeks, no Mr. Julius. Finally, he returns. That class, instead of the normal routine, he told us what happened. This dude felt that something wasn't right, called an ambulance, and then had a heart attack in his house with no one else around except his two cats. Ambulance shows up, takes him to the hospital, and he gets treated by a former student of his. Then he's back at school. No side effects whatsoever. This was also the first time he had missed school in years, and he's at least 70, and that's being generous considering he was leading the Roman Empire a few hundred years ago. Since I'm in the advanced track, I was told to pick a second language to take my next year. Me, being the Greek mythology nerd that I am, chose ancient Greek, and lo and behold, my teacher was Mr. Julius again. Greek apparently is just one of the other languages he knows. There's at least like 5 others. My Latin teacher that year we'll call Miss Magistra. Why? Because that's Latin for teacher. Greek class is similar to Latin, except we do one lesson a day instead of every 2 days, and the letters aren't quite the same. Instead of the ABCs, you have the alpha, beta, gammas. Anyways, back to Latin. Class with Miss Magistra is quite fun. She has some interesting word choices, for examples. For verbs, we often use one of the many, many Latin verbs, meaning kill. The object of killing is often small children, but don't worry. She also has many jokes every class, making it one of my favorites. The workload is a bit less than Latin with Mr. Julius, but the tests and quizzes are a bit harder. Put together with Greek and the fact that both are honors classes, I'm spending at least an hour and a half on dead dialects alone every night. Also, I'm stuck taking both of these for at least another 3 years. And that, my friends, is why you don't double dip dead dialects.